It's very good. Movie's very good. If you couldn't tell already, I just came back from the movie theater. I got a bunch of stuff. I got this thing. I got this little hat. Got this little guy. All of it just... Oh wait, let me show you guys the cup too. This cost me $50. Because I didn't want this. First of all I wanted was this. This one was the one I wanted. And then they just gave me this one. So I had to spend another $20 so I could get the one I wanted. They also had a Sonic head, but it was sold out. I mean, those sell out so fast. Like, I'll put it on the screen if anything, so you guys can see what it looks like. But I didn't get it. That's the one I wanted. I didn't know they had this one, but it looked. I mean, look at it. It's Shadow. Anything Shadow, I want it. This, that, everything. Anyway, about the movie, I'm not gonna spoil anything, or I'm gonna try to. If I say like a. If I'm about to say a spoiler, I'll let you guys know so you guys can like skip over it. But it was really good. In comparison to the first and the second movie, the third movie was incredibly good. Now, it's not perfect. I still rated it at 5 stars. Don't get me wrong. It's 5 stars, but it's not a perfect movie. Now, the reason why it's not a perfect movie is because, I mean, first of all, before you go into this movie, you gotta think about it because it's catered towards children. I'm like a, I mean, look at me. Do I look like a child to you? I might act like one, but I'm not one. But going in this movie, you guys just gotta know, like, it's catered towards children. There's gonna be some jokes. There's gonna be some storylines, I guess you could say, in the movie that are gonna be like, what? Like, if you're like a little older, you'll know what I mean. If you're like a little older, but they have. It's so crazy to me to see like how far the movies has come. Ever since that very first trailer with the rat they put on the screen to now, the quality is so much better. It's like so much better. And now I know where they get the budget for Shadow Generations, because clearly it's going towards the movie and like. Anyway, there's a lot of moments in this movie that I really enjoyed, and some of them I didn't really. They were just moments when there was like. I don't want to spoil anything. How do I word it in a way that I don't spoil the movie? God. Okay, basically, well, at the beginning of the movie, they got called up for some mission, by gun, and somebody dies, and then other people, I'm not gonna say who dies, but someone died, and then with his dying words, he gives Sonic something, and then the other group of people from Gun, they're like, oh, what the? He's bad. So now Sonic's a bad guy. What? Another thing I really enjoyed about this movie is Jim Carrey himself and Agent Stone. Is his name Dr. Stone or Agent Stone? I don't know if it's Agent Stone or Dr. Stone. Stone is just really good. I absolutely adore his character. He's not in the games, but he's been a part of the movie since the last movie. He's like one of my favorite characters ever. I think he's one of my favorite characters ever. He was incredible in this movie. Also Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey's like he's supposed to be retired, and then he basically saw Sonic and was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And then he said Sonic was the last movie, and then they gave him Sonic 2, and then he was like, oh, this is too good, I'm not gonna pass up on this. And now we have Sonic 2, and now Sonic 3. He was like, oh, unless the script is good. Which it was. The script, the writing is really good in this movie. You just gotta look past the little children's jokes, which, I mean, it was expected. It's a kid's movie at the end of the day, but it's an incredible kid's movie. Not the perfect kid's movie, but it's really good. Also, all the haters about Keanu Reeves and his Shadow the Hedgehog and like the Sonic DLC or the Shadow Generations DLC, they were like, oh my god, he sounds so bad here. He was incredible in this movie. He was so good. No, that was an incredible performance by him. I feel like one of the least things that I like about this movie, or about the Sonic movies in general, is Sonic himself. He's cool and all, but there's just something about his character that I don't like. I can't pinpoint what it is, but there's just something about his character that's not the Sonic we know, because, I mean, at the end of the day, he's not the Sonic we know. He's movie Sonic, but there's like something missing of his personality that's just not there. And I feel like the part of the personality that I'm looking for is in Black Knight. I feel like I don't know how to describe it, but it's in, I don't want to say his cockiness, because he was a little cocky in this movie. Oh my god, the shadow hat is coming off. Hold on. But he was like, you could tell he was like a little cocky when facing like Shadow. He was like, oh, we're gonna beat him up. I'm gonna go in myself. And at literally at the beginning of the movie, he was like, "I'm gonna beat you up, Shadow," or not Shadow because he doesn't know his name yet. But you know what I mean. Also, I think my favorite part about this movie actually is how they handled Shadow's story, like the whole backstory with Shadow. Like in the games, okay, this is gonna be like a little spoiler. It's not that big because I mean, we already know what happened. But Maria dies. Obviously, we know that. We know Maria dies. But the way it's handled in the game, I don't like. It's a meme in the game. Like a gun soldier just straight up shoots a kid, right? That's what happens in the games. In the movie, something else happens that I'm not gonna spoil what happens, but it happened in a way better, more realistic way. Because in the games, a soldier is not gonna shoot a kid in real life. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. But in the movie, it's that scene is like my favorite in the movie. Second favorite. All I'm gonna say is the last 30-40 minutes of the movie. Perfect. Not a single flaw in that. Perfect. Also, there's 2 post-credit scenes. So if you haven't watched the movie, make sure you stay for the post-credit scenes. The first one was pretty good. Not even pretty good. The last one was pretty good. The middle credit scene, middle credit scene, that one was perfect. That one was a really good one. I'm not gonna spoil it. You're just gonna have to see it for yourself. Also, the soundtrack was really good. There was like a couple of like the Sonic game. There was like I think 3 or 4. I think I heard 3 or 4 songs from the actual games, but they were like remixed. They weren't like. It was like a orchestral remix of like you guys know what I mean. Like it was like a remix of the original songs from the games. There was one of them that I knew was going to be in the movie but wasn't confirmed, and it was really good, and I teared up a bit. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a bit once I heard it. I know you know what I'm talking about, but it's at the end of the movie, so you have also don't post spoilers in the comments. I don't want spoil. If I see you posting a spoiler in the comments, I'm deleting your comment. I'm checking. Also, if you're watching this video, you probably already like Sonic. So if you like Sonic, you're gonna like the movie. Just straight up. Like, I don't think there's gonna be a Sonic fan that dislikes this movie. It's not possible. I don't think so. So if you're going in this movie as a Sonic fan, you're gonna love it. If you're not like that big of a Sonic fan, if you're like a Mario fan or something, which if you're watching this video, you're probably, you know. But if you love Sonic, you're gonna love this movie. So I definitely recommend seeing it as soon as possible. The humor, I'm gonna go back to this because Jim Carrey, I have to go back to Jim Carrey. He plays 2 roles. He plays Gerald and he plays Eggman. He's incredible as both. I loved his character as Gerald. I loved Eggman in this movie. They were both really good characters. They were both the funniest part of this movie, actually. There is a lot of humor in this movie, by the way. I feel like, I don't think, towards the end, it kind of stops because obviously there's a lot going on. So the humor kind of stops. There's still some by yours truly, Jim Carrey, aka Robotnik, which is really good. Oh my god, literally I think every single joke that came out of Jim Carrey's mouth was just perfect. Everything that came out of Sonic's mouth, no. I think that's what it is with Sonic. I don't think I like his humor in his movies because the Eggman humor it's so good. I think Jim Carrey might carry that. Also, another thing that I noticed, like I watch a lot of movies, so I'm a movie reviewer. I think this is the first time I review a movie on my channel. Actually, I'm not quite sure. You can fact check me on that, or you can just scroll and watch every single video. Yeah, go ahead and do that right now, actually. Go ahead and watch every single video to make sure this is not the first time I review a movie. But I think the pacing of the movie was also like a little fast. We are watching Sonic, but I feel like the movie, like, it's slow in some parts, and then it speeds through the next part, which is really annoying. Like, it's an hour and 40-minute movie, and so it's gonna be a little fast, but I wish that some scenes were, like, fleshed out more. The Shadow part, by the way, not Shadow's part, but like the backstory part, that was literally like that pacing, perfect. Also, there was no subplot in this movie with the human characters, although I will say that the last with the wedding and all that and the gun soldiers, that subplot, that was funny. It was funny. I'm gonna be the bad guy and say it was hilarious. No, it wasn't hilarious, but it was funny. It was funny. It was a good subplot, I feel like. But I feel like I feel like I covered everything without spoiling it. Like I'm like trying to, I'm literally like holding my tongue back from like saying a spoiler. So I'm gonna spoil like everything from now on is gonna be like shut up spoilers. I'm going straight to the end. Also, this thing kind of just spoiled it, by the way. So I just realized this thing has super shadow on it. So yeah, this thing's a spoiler. this thing's a walking. I didn't even realize, but this thing's a walking spoiler. But yeah, super shadows in the movie. You guys know that the beginning sequence of Sonic 3 when Knuckles punched the emeralds out of Sonic, that's literally what happened. That's literally what happened. I absolutely adore that part, by the way. And then they become Super Sonic and Super Shadow. They have a big fight. And it's amazing. That fight is really good. It's interrupted. It's interrupted in the middle by Jim Carrey and Jim Carrey with their fight, because they're fighting right now. Like, I already said spoilers, by the way. So if you're still watching this, then you're getting spoiled right now. You can't blame me anymore, because I said I was going to spoil it from now on. But I absolutely adore it. Like, the third act is absolutely incredible. Oh my goodness. I just love it. Also, Eggman dies. I can't be blamed for that. It was really sad, because the heartfelt message that he gave to Agent Stone or Dr. Stone, it was really nice. Because in the middle of the movie, Stone is like, man, I hate his grandpa, he's replacing me. And then he's like trying to find his place because he doesn't feel like Eggman sees him as his friend. I really like that little storyline right there, because he wants to be Eggman's friend. He wants to be his equal, I guess. Not equal, but he just wants to be friends with him. He doesn't want to be like some guy that he... Oh, there goes Shadow. He doesn't just want to be some guy that Dr. Robotnik works with. So it's really nice. It's a very good movie. And the post-credit scene, I want to talk about it a little bit. It was a bunch... Okay, spoiler again. If you don't want the spoilers of the post-credit scenes, get out right now. Even though Shadow fell again. Anywho, Shadow survives. If Shadow survives, that's very nice. So he's gonna be in the next movie. And also in the middle credit scene, that's when some things occurred. They at the end of the movie, they raced somewhere, and then Sonic ends up in like New York or something, and then he runs into an army, not even just one, an army of Metal Sonic, and then out of nowhere comes out Amy Rose, and that's pretty much the movie. I just wanted to talk about that. So if you're still watching this and you got absolutely spoiled, I'm so sorry. But I did say like I was gonna talk about spoilers from now on, so it's your own fault. It's your own fault now. If you're still watching, it's your own fault. But I will say that you need to watch this movie right now. If you haven't watched it, go watch it right now. I'm probably gonna end up watching it again. Really good. It was really good. I don't want to be biased. That's why I'm saying it's perfect, but it's not perfect, because it's really good. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a Sonic movie, so I'm a little biased. But all I gotta say is go watch the movie. And also, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more content. See you guys next time.